Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to CitizenAY, the platform where we speak truth to power. As promised earlier on, moments ago, I said to you I'm going to dissect this statement by the hegemony. Let me just remove the number there. I stated to you that we will discuss and break down this attempt by the Northern Elders, so-called Northern Elders, led by this man here. Let me just see his name again. Hakeem Baba Ahmed. I wanted to just make sure we broke that down. Now let's go into it. Don't fall for it, my Igbo brothers. Don't fall for it. It's a lie. It's all a lie. It's a big lie. Let's go ahead.
The Northern Elders Forum has reviewed events and tendencies which suggest that the country is headed for more crises. Nigerians live in fear of violence today.
What he's not telling you is that the violence is created by Fulani terrorists armed by our government. That's not what he's not telling you that. Let's see if I can find this browser. I want to post that for a second. See if I can get you something from the browser. Where is it now? Just wanted to give you something, but how can I do that? 1 second, please. I want to try and get some information to you on this if I can. Browser can. Okay. I want to do something with that. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll put this here, and I want to. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to make that small here. No, is that okay? Yeah. So now, whilst I'm doing that, I'm going to just show you the other one, which okay. So let's do this now. 1 second, please. I'm just going to get you the info. I wanted to show you what I showed you before. That one. That's it. Now we're gonna play that. The reason you see?
wallahi mu masu siyarwa wallahi iri na ran tsere gida kai wallahi ba yau bane gobe ne wallahi
So the reason I'm playing that now, let's go back to the video now to where he is talking. Now, he has not once mentioned about the Fulani terrorists who are now employed by the Fulani government in our military. And that's why you can't trust anything they're saying. None of it. You can't trust it. They are very quick to highlight. They talk about IPOD. They'll talk about Biafra and everything else. But they won't talk. You notice that they are silent on what I've just shown you. They're totally silent on it. Listen on.
And in fear of an uncertain future. The capacity of the Nigerian state to secure citizens, protect the country's territorial integrity, and resist violent assaults on our unity is weakening to levels of making threats that have no impact. Armed criminals of all types have increased their audacious stranglehold.
When he talks about armed criminals, he's trying to hide the fact that the federal government arms Fulani terrorists. And then they hide it under the guise of armed criminals. They are Fulani terrorists supplied, armed, and provided weapons and equipment and everything by the federal government of Nigeria, all for the aim of taking over Yoruba and Biafra and Middle Belt lands. And we need to resist it. Let's listen on.
Over our lives in all parts of the country. Irredentists are increasingly asserting their influence over in the southeast and some parts of the country, and in the manner that millions of Nigerians now live. Rhetorics from political leaders and ethnic champions who speak in threats and demands routinely suggest.
See, the fact that this man is even talking in that manner tells you how confident they are that they're going to get, the elders are not, you might be a Fulani elder, but you're not speaking for all Nigerians. You're speaking for yourselves and your own interests. That's what you need to understand. That's what we must understand. The northern elders are speaking up for northern interests. That's it. Fulani interest. Everything, and they are working with the government. So the statement they're making now has got the backing of the government. All to psychologically make us think, oh, they're talking about, no, this is all a Fulani agenda. Listen on.
That the sentiments in support of irredentism are becoming more widespread.
For that, let me just go back again. Don't know what happened there. Okay.
All Nigerians are paying the price of failure of two sets of leaders. At the national level, the administration appears to have lost the capacity to hold the gradual descent of the country into anarchy. Political leaders in the southeast appear to have submitted to violence and terror of IPOD and ESN.
Can you see how he talks about IPOB and ESN? But he will never talk about Fulani terrorists, nor Boko Haram, nor Mietiela. Never. You won't hear it from his lips. You simply won't hear it from his lips. And that's why I'm telling you, anything he's saying now, he's trying to put the blame for the killings carried out by Fulani terrorists, Boko Haram, and Mietiela in Southeast on IPOB. They tried it the other day. They couldn't work. They've said, no, it wasn't them. They couldn't, it wasn't IPOB at all. So they are trying, this is all part of a plan. This is all part of the Fulani plan. That's why I'm trying to break this down for those of you watching. Don't fall for it. It is all a lie. Let's carry on.
Muted voices of millions of Igbo cannot be heard.
And the reason why the muted voices cannot be heard is because the federal government of Nigeria has been oppressing us, has been oppressing Igbos and Southerners for the last 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And we're saying no more. So when you try and do that, then they try to put the blame about the silence on the IPOB, which is nonsense. Can you see the trick there? It's the conditions created by the Fulanis. That's why we're going for Yoruba Nation, Biafra Nation, and Middle Belt Nation. Listen on.
That Nigerians can understand the degree to which secession by the Igbo represents their popular choice. Nigeria has had to fight two terrible wars to preserve the country. The North has paid its dues in that war, and indeed in many ways throughout the history of our country. Under our current circumstances, no Nigerian should welcome another war to keep this country together. The North, in particular, has more than enough challenges, and we recognize that violent secession by any part of Nigeria will compound the problems of all Nigerians under which we live.
The violence that you're talking about is one that's propagated by the Fulani terrorists across the whole of the South. IPOB are merely trying to protect the people, and we have the right. IPOB and others in the South who are protecting the people, trying to protect the people, they have the right under UN chapter to protect ourselves and defend our lives. But this time is constantly trying to blame and blame. This is all a game. This is all a game. Don't fall for it. This is all part of the Fulani plan. And you will notice that they're given a platform to speak. How many Igbos are given platform or Yorubas platform to speak about the fact that the Fulanis are oppressing us? No, we're not having it.
The forum has arrived at the difficult conclusion that if support for secession among the Igbo is as widespread as it is being made to look, and Igbo leadership appears to be in support of it, then the country should be advised not to stand in its way.
That is a lie. All that is talk. I'm telling you. The evidence of what I'm saying, look at Oha, Shoyode, Shagamu, Yewa, and Imeko yesterday. And look at Igogo on the day before. If the government was going to not abide and make sure people went on their own, there won't be bloodshed. So all of this is doing is all talk. It's all a play for the international press. Oh, the government have been recommended that they should not get in the way of, this is all. It's all a front. The agenda remains the same. They're not moving 1 inch for the agenda of taking the land from Yorubas, Igbos, and Middle Belt. And it's up to us to stop them. We must stop them in their tracks.
It will not be in the interest, it will not be the best choice for the Igbo or Nigerians to leave a country we have all toiled to build.
So what interest have we as Biafrans and Yorubas? What benefit have we got? The benefit that any of the benefits has flowed straight to the north because of the fact the insistence for the Fulanis of taking over everything, all of our resources, and using it for their own benefit. There's been no benefit. That's why we are happy to go. All hail Biafra. God bless Yoruba nation. God bless Biafra nation. God bless Middle Belt. RIP One Nigeria.
And a country we all have responsibility to fix. But it will not.
No, we don't have a responsibility to fix Nigeria. Nigeria has been a fraud. Again, I keep telling you, you cannot tell me to abide by a fraudulent constitution at that. It's a fraudulent one. It is not even a constitution. It's a decree. Promulgation Decree number 24, 1999. You go and deal with that. And that's a fact that we're going to keep exposing on a daily basis.
Help a country already burdened with failures on its knees to fight another war to keep the Igbo in Nigeria.
This is all a lie. They are going to press on with what they're going to try and do. But of course, because of the pressure of what we're doing in the social media as Yorubas, as Igbos, and they feel the need to try and play another game. But this time, they've beaten more than they can chew. Yoruba nation is going. Biafra nation is going. Middle Belt is also going. Because the Fulanis are engaged. They've been killing us silently for a long time. And enough of it. We're not accepting any more of this.
This forum insists that attacks and killings of northerners and federal government employees and destruction of national assets.
So the attacks on northerners. So it's only northerners' life that matters. Let me play back again. Listen.
And federal government employees and destruction of national assets
must.
This forum insists that attacks and killings of northerners and federal government employees.
So they can raise alarm on the killings of northerners and federal government employees. But southerners, our lives don't matter. Their cows are more valuable to them than us. Can you not see why we can no longer support One Nigeria? Those of you who still believe in One Nigeria, we can't. Our lives don't matter to them. Enough of this nonsense.
And destruction of national assets must stop. Those who have been involved in it must be arrested and prosecuted. Until the Igbo decide whether it wants to secede or remain part of Nigeria, the law applies to it, and the federal and state governments.
We don't have a law, by the way. It is a promulgation decree. It is a decree that's been imposed. And we're no longer bound by a decree because it wasn't a constitution. There was no referendum supporting it. So all that you just said now is nonsense. It's a lie. We're not going to comply with a fraudulent constitution. That's actually a decree. No more. That is why we have every right to go, because you've held us together. You've held us together in a bind using a fraudulent document. That's actually a decree.
Those who have responsibility to enforce the law and protect citizens must enforce it.
See what they're saying? Can you see what I'm saying? Now, can you see? When you look at it, 1 second, please. 1 second, let me just take this. Hello, how are you, man? àmì àṣẹ, àmì àṣẹ, àmì àṣẹ, àmì àṣẹ, àmì àṣẹ, ẹ ṣeun. No, mo ti kúrò lórí show. Of course, no, of course. Gbogbo ìkẹtẹ́ tó mọ̀ tán. Mm. 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 Ẹ rí pé mo sọ fún wọn pé gbogbo wa ṣiṣẹ́ papọ̀ ní pé nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ pé mo dẹ̀ but mi ò tiẹ̀ bọ́ mú gẹ̀tẹ̀. Mm. Mm. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni. Mm. Mm. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni. At all. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni. Ẹ ṣeun. Ẹ ṣeun. Mm. 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 Yeah, so carrying on, let's listen on. I just have to take that call. No, let's quickly do this. Go ahead. Let's carry on.
We support calls for northerners who are exposed to harassment and violence to consider relocating to the north.
You notice he's saying we support calls for northerners who are exposed to violence to return to the north. At no point has he talked about the fact. I mean, if you're so focused on northerners, what's the point of us trying to be one Nigeria? There's no point. That you're making our point for us why we should separate, because you're talking about everything you're doing is about northerners, whereas we are supposed to be one nation, and that is why we in the South. What you are demonstrating now is why we in the South are going, because we know that you will use everything, our resources in the South, to benefit the North at the expense of Southerners, and that is no longer acceptable. So anyway, let's listen on.
Unlike the postures and complacency of the leaders of the Southeast, we advise that all Igbo and other ethnic groups from the South residing in the North should be accorded the usual hospitality and security.
That's a code language. And those of you who are Biafrans and Yorubas and Middle Beltans in the North, that is a coded language. What he's saying there, you will provide usual whatever civilities or whatever. What did he use? Respect and whatever he called. That's a code. He's actually talking about that he wants you all to stay there so that you can all be taken out. So I suggest, by hearing this, my southern brothers, Yorubas, Igbos, Middle Belt, find your way back to the South. Because what they're saying there, on one hand, you think they're being nice. No, they want you there so that they can get rid of you even more. And obviously, there's no accountability anyway. So you're better off not staying. Let's carry on.
The Forum believes that it is vital to address amendments to the Constitution and achieve major changes in the structure and operations of our federal system.
The Constitution is a fraud. We don't want any part of it. It's got to be taken down. And in fact, the Constitution must go down alongside the fraudulent contraption. The Constitution and the contraption must go down. We want no part of Nigeria. It's going. RIP one Nigeria.
Now, members of the National Assembly elected by Nigerians have lost touch with the people they are supposed to represent. This explains the major distance.
Why won't they lose touch when the very document upon which they were elected is a fraud? And that document tells them they cannot change any part of it. You're talking nonsense. You've just made my point for me. You've just proven the fact that the fraudulent constitution is actually a decree, which is decree number 24 of 1999. Has made it impossible for anybody to change it. Every government, they swear on oath to protect that fraudulent constitution. So how can you change what you swear to protect? You won't. That is why we're going.
Which exists between the people and the vital national institution which should play a major role in mitigating national crises. The National Assembly should explore additional avenues for tapping into opinions.
There is nothing valid about our National Assembly or the judiciary or the executive or the entire governance, because the very foundation is a fraud. The Constitution itself is a promulgated decree. Until there is, since there is no referendum, we are going, and the referendum to go is the first thing that must be on the table now. Referendum to stay or go, and that must be tabled, and UN will take care of that in August. So all of this you're doing, carry on, but it's going. We're going. We're separating whether you like it or not.
That can help redress serious limitations to the federal system before the 2023 elections.
There will be no 2023 elections. There will be no 2023 elections. There will be no 2023 elections because the Constitution is a fraud. And every time you vote on a fraud, you legitimize a fraud. So we need to dismantle contraption Nigeria. That's what we're going for.
The North is willing to discuss all matters related to constitutional amendments and restructuring with the leadership of the country and other groups who see.
See, the leadership of the country are what? Fulanis. So they want to have a discussion among ourselves and put some cannon fodders. No, we're not buying it. We're not buying it. 1 second, please. Yeah, let's listen on a bit more.
Their presence in the future of Nigeria. Thank you. It is in the statement.
Now, I want you to listen to the last 10 or 15 seconds of what this man is about to say. Then you will fully understand that any talk about they are happy for Biafra to go is all a lie. Listen.
Yeah, about the restructuring of the country.
The North supports the restructuring of the country and believes that groups like ours should get together. If the government would not facilitate a meeting of groups, if the avenue provided by the National Assembly is too inadequate, and we believe it is inadequate, there is nothing stopping Nigerians from organizing their own dialogue and making sure that it enters into the constitutional channels that are available. We believe that we should do this because a lot of Nigerians believe that the exercise just concluded by the National Assembly was insufficient. The quality of representations made there do not reflect what Nigerians really need. We are willing to talk to the National Assembly because we recognize the fact that under the law, they are the only body that has the power to amend the Constitution. We are willing to discuss with them. There are other groups that are willing to do so. That's why in our statement, we said they should expand their avenue. They should expand the opportunity for groups to talk to them.
Are you calling for another national conference?
We are not asking. There are many, many ways in which you can get Nigerians to talk, raise issues of quality, raise issues of substance. I don't want to label it. All I'm saying is that a government must reach out to communities that can make meaningful inputs into the way it is done, and those communities have a responsibility to knock on the doors of government, executive, National Assembly. Right now, there hasn't been that contact, and it should be established. That's why in our statement we said we are willing to talk with groups and we are willing to talk with government because there are issues that we...
See, all they're doing there is all up front. What will happen in the end is that the Fulani people will talk to the Fulani government and they will exclude everybody else. And that is their way. And that is why we need to dismantle contraption Nigeria. So don't trust anything this man is saying. My Biafran brothers, don't believe it that they are happy for you to go. It is a lie. We must continue to push for separation completely to go away. You let Yoruba go on its own, let Biafra go and Middle Belt go, and then the North can keep the name Nigeria. We're not buying this lie anymore. We will break up. RIP one Nigeria. God bless Yoruba nation. God bless Biafra nation. God bless Middle Belt nation.
Believe need to be said, but they have not provided the right forum.
So what's the forum's stance on the imminent scarcity of onion? The organization has said they are going to stop.
The issue about onion is a symptom of a deeper problem. When people don't feel safe and secure to sell anything, they will not sell it. Let's bring peace and security to people who transport essential food to the southeast. And you will see onions, you will see cattle. But if you create an environment which is unsafe for people, that's what you see.
Okay, so in a nutshell, the North is in support of the secession by the Igbo.
We are not in support of a secession by anybody. We said if secession is what every Igbo wants, and this is what the Igbos want, and the nation should not fight a war over it. And we said if every Igbo supports secession, if the leaders support secession, then the nation should not fight another war. That's what we said.
In the face of this secessionist agitation, do you support the call for a referendum?
Do I support what?
The call for a referendum.
The issue about referendum is not in our constitution. Those who want a referendum in the constitution should canvass for the inclusion of referendum in the constitution.
That is what I mean. The last bit he said, those who want the referendum should canvass for the inclusion of referendum in the constitution. And that is what I'm saying to you all. That is the fraud. So everything is said up to that point, you can now see is a lie. Because we've said, the constitution is a fraud. And how can you now try and put anything together on a fraud? That is why we need to separate. We must dismantle contraption in Nigeria. No ifs, no buts. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching CitizenAY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Thank you and goodbye.